Hi everybody, Jeff here, and today I'd like to talk to you about a very special anniversary for me, and that is today, December the 5th. The reason why this is a special for me is not because of my birthday or an anniversary, like a wedding anniversary, but it is an anniversary for me because today is the day, 2013, when I made a decision which started me on this path to being, being this urban nomad, living in my trailer. It was wind the clock back then. Late in November, my boss had been, or the company that I work and still work at, was talking about renewing the insurance for the company, and the fact it was frustrating, and like, well, maybe he's gonna have to pack it in. And here's me going, oh crap, I can't have you do that, because I was living in a townhouse that I rented. I was with a gal. She was with me long enough for me to sign the lease for the townhouse, but not with me. She just left and ghosted me before the furniture that we picked out arrived. So leave that be as it may. So I had this townhouse with some furnished. Okay, nice little life, but I was going through cash. I had some credit card debt, and I was just. And in January of 2013, I bought a truck, F-150, and because I thought, well, I'm never going to get out of debt, so I might as well have a toy. That's where I was. Now we're back in November, like late November, then early December, wondering what would I do if I were to lose my job. And so I did the usual. I ran through my budget and kind of, again, trying to figure out how can I save some money, how can I get ahead, how can I do this. And at one point, in very frustration, I just kind of took the rent out of the budget, and then I went, wow, that's actually, rent and the utilities, and I went, wow, that's actually pretty impressive. If I could somehow live like that, I would be getting further ahead because I wouldn't be paying for shelter. So I didn't have an actual plan on the day, so it was actually evening, coming home from work. I was mulling this over, and I had the general kind of concept of maybe either buying a camper for the back of the truck, or renting a room somewhere. That was my plan, one of the two. I didn't have an idea I was going to put my stuff in storage, and because in my initial plan it would just take me 2 years. That's it. In 2 years I was going to pay off all my debts and have enough money for a down payment for a house. Yep. I was that delusional. But again, the overarching theme of the story is you don't have to have all the answers to get started. I do a lot of planning and a lot of forecasting and budgeting and so forth. I have a number of tools in that regard. I have a cascading budget, as I call it. Basically, it's a series of budgets for the payday. Like one budget is one payday, one for the entire year. So one after the other, after the other. And the output of one payday, one budget goes into the beginning of the next, because that's what happens. What you accomplish, what you have left over, what have you, of this payday is the beginnings of the next payday. So that way I can plan out the entire year and go, okay, so I can look ahead and go, well, if I behave myself, if I do if I stick to this plan, I can be at that point at the end of the year. It gives me that encouragement. It also allows me to then model various scenarios. What if I pay down my debts first? What if I build up my savings first? What if I do this? What if I do that? What if I do the other thing? I can see it happening before I do it and go, does that work? Does that not work? What have you? So that's kind of how I do my financial planning and my financial tools. But back to that day. I was coming home and I was trying to figure out what would I do if I lost my job. And I sat and I pulled up, and the song Tracy Chapman's Fast Car. And to me, that's the change song, because in that song, the character keeps making a change, and then it's not the right one, so she makes another one, and then makes another one, and does it right now. You and I have a choice. We have to leave tonight or live and die this way. Meaning, if you don't change right now, make the decision to change right now, this instant, then you're never going to. And you're just going to get through it. Just going to keep doing what you're doing. And so I said, that's it. I'm going to do this. I went into the house, started a blog, theurbannomads.ca. It's still there. I think it's still up there. The Urban Nomad with an S at the end, .ca. But still the best place to contact me is through Twitter, at CND Continental. That's me. So I went inside and I started the blog, and because I wanted to publicly declare that I'm going to do this, so I couldn't back out. And then I just solved the problems one by one. I need to do this. So I solved that and figured this and solved that. And I made a lot of mistakes along the way. I bought the trailer because I figured this would be my rent and I would have something. And so it is still permanently attached behind my truck, and I park it across the street from work. Still living there. I'm hoping to get someplace next year. I'm not there quite yet. I'd like to. I'm still, again, hoping that my investments go up and real estate drops down. We'll see how that goes. But again, I have many plans, and one plan is if excrement hits the ventilator, as it were, and things go completely crappy, I have an idea what I'll do, because hopefully by that point that will cause my investments to shoot up and land to drop down. I can go, right, I'll take that chunk. My dreams are many, varied and scalable. Even if it's a cabin in the woods, that'd be nice, a couple acres, to buying a quarter section, starting a town. That would also be nice. So my point is that you don't have to know the answers to get started. Just get started. Because what I found in all this planning and modeling is that pretty much what you got to do will still be the same this payday, this week, this next month, regardless of what you're going to do in the future. So that's what one of the things I say is dream for the future, your long-term goals. Plan for the midterm, next 6 months, 3 to 6 months. You can plan for that much. Plan it out. Work on the now. What are you going to do right here, right now, today, this payday, this week, to get yourself moving towards those goals? I have Post-it notes up, which I keep above my fridge, which shows where shows my goals, and the ones on the left most, of course, as you're reading it like a page, those are more important than the ones to the right, and I just kind of then work towards those, keep those in mind as I make my decisions. Say, this is my current plan, and I'm just not be afraid to change my plan. It happens. And that way I've accomplished a fair bit, and it also led me to figuring out how to solve the problem you're not supposed to solve, which is how to make everyone's life better, how to fix the country so it's more democratic, responsible democratic. We need to go republic. I'll say that now, fine. Be our own republic, independent, not part of the states, not part of anybody, our own country, our own republic. I know how to fix the currency, because that's the underlying problem for everything. Because our currency has no value, which means you're working for something which steadily loses value, which means you're working for less and less and less and less, even though you're getting paid the same amount. That's not right. So therefore, you cannot get ahead, and that's by design. And now they want to replace our currency, which is backed by nothing, for another currency which is backed by nothing, yet they completely control absolutely everything, and that is unacceptable. That's the central bank digital currencies. They're really working towards it because they want to bring back feudalism. They want everyone to be peasants, and I keep saying that's not going to work, because as soon as people realize what's been done to them, they'll go nuts. It will be absolute apeshit, and that is what I'm trying to avoid. As well as imagine, if we do end of the positive note, imagine the power of the economy that would be released if everyone was debt-free and was working for actual money, which actually held value. Then your savings would actually grow, and you could actually be paying down your debts, because you'd be earning more money, and that money would be holding its value, so you could then actually pay down your debts, because your debts would stay the same and slowly be diminished as you could get ahead. That's what I'm working towards. And to do that, I need the meeting with the premiers. But I've been completely ignored, because again, just written off as some wingnut. And I guess, ignore him, he'll go away. It's very frustrating. I'm not going to do anything violent or rash, or set myself on fire or anything crap like that, or do anything to harm anyone. I just want to be talked to and treated like with respect, as a person. I have the plan. I know how to do it. And I think they do too. But they don't want to talk to me because they like their power. All of them. They don't really want to fix anything. They just want to ride through, have their little bit, and then do their whatever policies in place, and then have their nice cushy little life afterwards as a retired premier, the retired prime minister, etc., etc. None of them want to actually change anything, want to fix anything. Not for the average people, none of them. I do. Help me. Get me my meeting.